Hi, everyone. This is Isabel, co-founder and creator of SIV, and this is the SIV Skin Microbiome Series, where we highlight the important role of the skin microbiome in healing stubborn skin conditions. Today, we have Gretchen Herring on the show. She has been a practicing esthetician for 12 years now, located in the DMV area of Northern Virginia. She has a special focus in lasers and hyperpigmentation, and I am so excited for you guys to see her amazing before and afters that she has helped achieve with SIV. So without further ado, here's Gretchen. So we are here with Gretchen. Hi, Gretchen. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited. This is going to be so fun.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Okay, now tell me, how did we first meet?
Okay, so I learned about SIV through my Esty bestie, Jen Mills in New Orleans. She and I have known each other for a very long time, before we even went to school to become estheticians. And I was going to IECSC in New York, and she said, the absolute first stop, you have to go to the SIV booth. So I run past everybody else, and I go directly to you guys, and Morgan was there. And so I talked with her, and she gave me, all the info, and I got my SIV. And then I said, can we take a picture real quickly? And I was holding my phone up to take a picture of us, and you came in, you're like, oh, this is so great. So that's how we first met.
I remember that so vividly because I'm like, oh my God, is this like somebody coming up who knows us? Like, this is crazy. We were so fresh, so new. A year ago, I think hardly anybody knew about us. Like, you were one of the first ones who probably brought us on, right? Especially if you heard about it from Jen, who was like the first.
The first, yeah.
Oh my God, that is so cool. I distinctly remember that now. So amazing. Well, I'm so excited to talk with you. I kind of want to start out. So tell me a little bit about like the role of the skin microbiome in your practice. Like, what does the skin microbiome mean to you? What value kind of does it hold for you?
Well, as someone who suffered with eczema ever since I was a little girl, that balance has always been really important to me. And I kind of approach the skin microbiome in the same way that I approach the ecosystem that we live in. I like to kind of break things down so it's easy for people to understand. So I kind of like to talk to people like they're 5 years old, And so what I explain to them is it's very much the same as people who come in and do like remove wolves because they're concerned about livestock, or who put wolves into a new situation because they're trying to control the coyotes, and then for smaller mammals to be able to thrive, and how these things can have well-meaning intent, but we need to understand the ecosystem of the world we live in and of our skin, and we need to let help itself balance out. So when I found out about SIV, I was so excited because there are so many products out there that are just trying to pull out the big guns and destroy or push things in. And the poor skin is like, just let me be, let me figure myself out. So I was very excited to bring this into my practice.
Oh, absolutely. I love that so much because you're so right, where there's so many things out that are targeted towards like killing things and being aggressive on the skin. And I love that you use this analogy of an ecosystem because that's exactly what's going on here. I love that you use the wolves because yes, we facilitate balance, right? We want to create more competition within an ecosystem. We want things to balance out naturally, and life is all about balance, right? And you don't want to be excessive on one end or the other. And so I love that analogy, and I think that's completely accurate. So
good. Thank you.
Cool. Well, speaking of, this important role of balance in the ecosystem, let's talk about a couple of your amazing before and afters that you have allowed us to share. So I'm going to share my screen here and pull this up for you guys because your before and afters are freaking awesome. Like, they're so good. Okay.
Oh, yes. I love this so much.
All right. So, I want to talk really kind of in depth about this patient. So tell me a little bit, like, what was the patient's age? How long have they been a client? Give me a little bit of background here initially. Then we can kind of dive into how you help.
So she is a good friend of mine. She's just turned 40 years old. She works in healthcare. She actually does mammograms. So she's, very into trying to be holistic and healthy and things like that. But every year around this time, she starts getting outbreaks. Now, to me, that looks more like eczema. Obviously, I'm not a dermatologist, so I can't diagnose anything. She said psoriasis, but she came in for a facial and she was suffering with it on her eyelids. And then she had this one spot on her forearm. So while I'm treating her and I'm kind of asking the questions and looking at it, I said, do you mind if I treat your arm as well? You know, she goes, oh, absolutely not. Please do. So during her facial, I took the sieve, I put a few drops on that spot. And then I said, just do me a favor, you know, send me some after pictures so I can kind of keep up with it. And the very next day, she said that her eyelid had completely calmed down. And then the 24 hours later, you can see, I mean, that to me looks like a 70% reduction easily, you know? Mm-hmm. And it made me so happy because the poor client actually has bruises that you can't see in this photo from her scratching. She had bruised herself. So it was very painful. And then she sent me that other photo 4 days later and she said, Gretchen, I don't understand how this worked, but it's gone. And it made me so happy.
I can't believe how fast sometimes these can work and you get some really fast results. Yes. And that is so amazing. Okay, so tell me, like, what was some of the protocol that you used? Was it just SIV? Did you use other things? You know, why do you feel like SIV helped? Like, kind of give me like a little bit of background around protocol.
So with this in particular, I just treated the eyelids and that spot with SIV and SIV alone. Typically when I'm doing facials, I don't go near, you know, on the inside of the orbital bone, but I did for this very, you know, strategic and sparingly. I took just one little drop and just gently patted it. And then with this, I said, do me a favor, just let me put it on and leave it alone. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I love SIV in conjunction with other actives for like a daily maintenance type of thing. That's what I do for myself. But with this, I really wanted to give SIV the chance to shine and just like put those little bad boys in there, step back and say, all right, do your job. And they did.
Yep. That is so amazing. Okay, cool. And so for this particular one, was she using it twice a day, once a day? Do you know?
Well, with this, that was from one application. She hadn't even bought a tube yet. And I actually was just going to give her a tube, but I forgot to give it to her. So when I contacted her and she got back to me that 4 days later, she goes, that's it. I'm buying it. And so she came in and she bought a bottle and took it home. That's one application. That's it.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yep. I just left it alone.
It's amazing. Okay, awesome. Wow, that is so much better than I even would have expected. For those of you listening at home, that's a genuine reaction. I cannot believe that. That's so cool. Oh my God, amazing. I love that. And thank you. Thank you for, you know, thinking of SIV and you know, even wanting to bring that to her. So amazing. Okay. So that is one of your amazing before and afters. Now you also have shared another one with us here.
That's my son.
Cutie pie.
That's my son. So he's 10. It's spring and all of the allergies and sinuses, everything is kicking in, right? So he woke up very congested, all of that. And as he rolled over, I noticed that the snot, which I know is gross, from his nose had drained onto his face and had stayed like that all night because of the way that he was sleeping. So what you can't see from this photo is that it wasn't just red. There was inflammation, like little tiny bumps, almost like blisters. Just perioral dermatitis, you know, from being stuck underneath all of that garbage all night. So I gave him a very gentle cleanse. I took my sieve. It was right before he walked out the door to get on the bus. And I said, hey, buddy, my little microbes are going to go in there and help it out. I patted it on his skin, sent him on his way. 8 hours later, off the bus, gone.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. And so fast. I can't believe it. And so, again, just one application.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. You really have some sorcery way of putting it on and just like putting, you know, one application and it's like, boom, we're done. We're good.
Well, and there's what I've noticed with the kind of the dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema clients that I have, it works so fast on them. I just feel like the body is crying out for help. And this is the help that they need. And unfortunately, I don't have photos from this one client, but her story is so special to me. She came in for a facial. This client is in her 70s. And I was telling her, you know, get comfortable, take off whatever you're comfortable with and get under the bed. And she said, well, I'd like to leave my pants on. I never take my pants off, even in the summer. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. And she said, I've got very bad psoriasis on my legs from the knees down. And as I was working on her, I said, would you mind if I take a look? Would you be comfortable with that? And she said, okay, but you know, she's very shy and timid. And I looked, and I'm talking lesions all over the bottoms of her legs. Knees down, to the point where she never even wears a skirt or shorts. And I said, would you mind if I put some SIV on your lower legs? And she said, no, please, I'll try anything. She came back the next day, bought 2 bottles and was like, it's already healing. It's already going away. And so I'm hopeful when she comes in next time, I get a picture, because this is life-changing for someone like her, you know, like it made me want to cry. Made me so happy.
Oh my God. Hearing stuff like that makes this like just insane. Like when I hear a story like that, it honestly does bring a tear to my eye, because I'm like, I can't believe that this product is having such an impact like that. Like that is incredible to have somebody who's struggled her entire life to find something that works. And then this works. There's nothing better than that to me.
Yes,
oh my God. I hope to God that it works. Have you heard any updates from her?
She came in last week, and the nurse injector that I work for looked at her legs and she said, Gretchen, it's at least 60 to 70% better. And so I started treating her with it, I think 3 weeks ago.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. So awesome. Oh my gosh, I'll have to have you back on to talk more about that and just get that in person, because that is incredible. Thank you for sharing, you know, that story, and for bringing it to the people who always need it. And I always talk about this, you know, with SIV, just being that, you know, skincare professionals like yourself, you are the reason why we are who we are. Like, again, without you guys getting it into the hands of people who need it, it would be nowhere. You know, she never would have known about that without you. And you had the wherewithal to know, like, this is a situation where this would be able to impact this.
Actually, today, I'm sending 2 bottles, one to Georgia and one to Germany. So
amazing.
We're going across the pond.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Are these your clients, or are these friends, or who?
These are virtual clients.
Amazing. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Well, thank you, Gretchen, for explaining all of these before and afters. You have so many amazing ones. As we close out here, I always like to ask everyone, give me a hot take in the industry. Give me something that, you know, maybe it's a little controversial, maybe it's a little crazy, but you know,
I love this. I was so excited when I saw that you were going to ask this question. So I did say this about last week. I talked to Jen, and Jen and I had gone to a symposium together last year. And with all that they're finding out now about the skin microbiome, about how it's connected to the stomach, all of these things, right? And they're finding that, again, we want these little ecosystems to make the balance themselves. We don't want to go in with so much harshness. My thing is, I think in the next 5 years, LED blue therapy is going to be taken off. I think it's going to be gone. I think they're not even going to make it anymore. And here's why. So I'm a laser, like lasers are my life. I love my lasers. And I treat my acneic clients, well, I treat all my clients, but specifically my acneic clients with red LED therapy, because it is so good for reducing inflammation. And that really is, in my opinion, where the painful acne comes from. You know, it's not the bacteria. The bacteria is perfectly fine. It's just the inflammation that it causes with some patients as opposed to others. So I think that the blue LED therapy I think it's killing off more bacteria than it probably should be. And I think that in about 5 years, they're just going to stop even offering it. That's my hot take.
That is amazing. And you know what's crazy? People will ask me about how I feel about blue light. They're like, can I use SIV with blue light? And I always tell them, don't use it before, use it after, because it is quite antibacterial. And it's so interesting. And maybe I'm going to sound naive here because maybe it's different, but we have blue light blockers and then we go and put blue light on. Like, is that different? Blue light? I don't know. Somebody tell me, but
no, you're not far off. Now the blue light that we get like from like a computer screen, you know, it's when you look at the electromagnetic spectrum, and we can go into this another time, but it's just a specific wavelength. That's all it is. It's attacking the skin at a very specific level, and it's killing off that bacteria, and we need it, you know? So yeah, red therapy goes deeper, so it's better for inflammation, and it doesn't kill off that bacteria like the blue does.
Yep. I know. I love red light. And I always tell people you can definitely use SIV before your red light and get those microbes cooking in there. And I think that's a great way to use it. So, well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Is there anything kind of leave the people with, if there's anything that you want to promote or plug or any of your endeavors or your page or anything like that? We'll also have your stuff linked in the description as well. But if you want to say it here, feel free.
Oh. Thank you. No, well, thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful. I love nerding out with you. It's so much fun. But yeah, if anybody wants to follow me, my Instagram handle is the.naked.esthetician, because my goal is for everyone to be happy and healthy in their naked skin, so that makeup is just for fun when you want it and you don't feel like you have to have it all the time. So yeah, I would love for you guys to follow me.
Amazing. Everyone go follow her. She is a joy and a pleasure, and we love her. Okay, Gretchen, thank you
so much. Have a great day.